Dr. Don Chumley, and Dr. Carl Sauer. Your judges at ringside are, from Oak City, Oklahoma, Howard Reams and Don Gillum, and from Grove, Oklahoma, Jim Huey. Your timekeeper for this event is the talented Teddy Van. Counting for the knockdowns at the bell, the alternate referee, Freddie Copeland. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Holden Productions, ESPN, and Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers, presents High Noon in Muskogee. Main event, 10 rounds, heavyweights. Your referee for this event from Kansas City, Missouri, Kevin Champion. Introducing now the principals first in the red corner to my right, hailing from Benton Harbor, Michigan. He is standing at an even 7 feet. He weighs 230.5 pounds. His professional record, 15 wins, 5 defeats. He has 13 knockouts. Here is Marcellus Brown. His opponent in the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with gold and red trim and accessories. He stands at 6 foot 2 inches. He weighs 231 pounds. Professional record, 42 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw. He has 36 knockouts. The former WBO heavyweight champion, Tommy the Duke Morrison. 10 rounds, heavyweights.
Tommy Morrison with the new look, and he hopes to have some old skills. Here's the keys to victory.
Well, if you're Tommy Morrison, you want to keep on that steady pressure, but you want to be thinking. You don't want to have anything happen to you the way it happened to Michael Bent when he dropped his hands and he got nailed with the right hand. And Brown has got to stay away, and he's got to also gain his respect.
All right, we'll see how well each of those men can do it. That's Tommy Morrison, the former WBO champion. And his opponent, Marcellus Brown. It is a very small ring, Randy, and I don't think that's an accident. I think they wanted it as small as possible for Morrison, who comes out cranking left hooks, as per usual.
They wanted to put it in a phone booth, but instead it's a ring that's somewhere, it's about 18 feet. Not exactly. I really thought it was going to be smaller for Morrison.
That's pretty small. It's not. Well, I guess you could have it smaller, though. There is the knockout ratio of these two men. Morrison, of course, as you know, a huge knockout puncher when he's on.
17 first-round knockouts for Morrison, 10 for Brown.
In his last outing on ESPN, you saw Morrison against Ross Purity. It ended up being a draw. Some thought Purity should have won the fight. Morrison was down a couple of times. Not a stellar effort by Tommy Morrison. He hopes to do much better here tonight.
Well, Tommy's told it to us before, Al. He said, yes, I party, and yes, I party hard, but it's a new Tommy Morrison.
As is his custom, pressing ahead. Brown using the jab a lot, and even if that punch doesn't always get in, Randy, he wants to use it just, if nothing else, to keep Morrison busy.
The keys to victory that we talked about, that was the gaining respect. Even though it didn't land, he threw the right hand with vengeance on it, and with a lot of steam on it. So Tommy Morrison knows the guy is there to punch back at.
Brown tying Morrison up on the inside. Kevin Champion could have quite an active afternoon, because you know Brown's going to want to tie up Morrison like this every time he gets on the inside. And already Brown gets a caution from Champion for pushing on the head of Morrison.
You're exactly right. He will be doing a lot of that, but that's exactly what he has to do. Tie him up. He's got to let him go there. He's got to grab Tommy's arms. A little punch on the break.
Brown hits on the break, and Morrison just kind of glares at him. Morrison is not a quick starter. I mean, he has never been known, even though he's got some early knockouts, against really quality opponents, he isn't that, I don't think, that quick a starter.
No, from the talk about it, Tommy was saying he's coming right out, and he's going to look to put that left hook there. Listen, he's coming off that first-round knockout just a few weeks ago. Sure. He wants a man by the name of Mike Tyson to know that he exists and where he lives, and he wants him to have his phone number. Because everybody, these heavyweights, are all lining up to face Mike Tyson.
And I guess my point about the starting is he's vulnerable early. Even though he's got those early knockouts, he has also been hurt early in fights. So for him, this tentativeness here in round 1 is not all that uncommon. Oh, bad cut. There is a cut over the right eye of Tommy Morrison. Now, whether it came from a clash of heads or a punch remains to be seen. So already the plot is thickening here in Muskogee, Oklahoma. We'll come back and look at that cut when we return.
I want a Ford Thunderbird.
In a boxing special, Tommy Morrison, closest to you, comes out against Marcellus Brown. Tommy Morrison sustained a cut over the right eye, which his trainer John Brown worked on in between rounds, and I believe they stopped the bleeding.
Well, they know what they're doing in that corner. That's a very professional corner. There was no panic in it whatsoever. But will there be panic on the part of Tommy Morrison if this fight goes on a few more rounds?
So far, the bleeding has stopped. Take a look at the punches in round 1. And interesting how inactive Tommy Morrison was and how inaccurate.
And you know that only one of Tommy's punches, of the 14 punches that he threw, was jabs.
He's not jabbing his way in, and Randy, that's something that has been a problem for him over the years.
No question about it, Al. You know, and he's starting to, I think there may be a little bit of panic now as he's walking in. Looks like he's loading up on everything. Bad intentions on every shot he's throwing. I don't think he's going to try to box this guy at all. I think he's going to try to take him out.
But even when you come in to take a guy out, the idea is to jab your way in because it sets up all those other punches. How many fighters, even Mike Tyson, you alluded to him earlier already, toward the end before he went to prison, he stopped doing that, and it really caused problems for him. Nice right hand by Brown.
See, what did Tommy do there? He just dove in with an overhand right. Just dove right in. See, there he jabbed a little bit, but then he didn't put a right hand behind it. Bad spot for Brown to be. Very bad spot. He never wants to have his back against the ropes.
You see the height disparity. Brown, the 26-year-old, soon to be 26, who is, oh, good jab and a right hand by Brown, is 7 feet tall. It's not an optical illusion, folks.
That was a very slow right hand that he threw.
Nice uppercut. Now, he obviously was watching the Ross Purity tapes because Purity was able to land that uppercut against Morrison, and there's Brown landing it again.
But he did not throw it with any kind of quickness on it. If he throws it again that slow and Morrison starts reading him, he's going to time it with a left hook. And just like you said, Al, Kevin Champion's going to be doing a lot of work the longer this fight goes.
Under a minute left to go in round 2. It is scheduled for 10. Tommy Morrison, the former WBO champ, against Marcellus Brown. Already a point being deducted?
Wow.
Good Lord.
You know, he has warned him, but I didn't think it was all that flagrant. I really don't think Brown should have lost that point.
Well, I mean, we're in round 2 already, and there's been a little bit of the holding and pushing down, but at this juncture, it's pretty early to start taking points away. But nevertheless, a point has been deducted. We'll be back for round 3. Stay with us.
One engine was filled with Castrol Syntec, a full synthetic oil, the rest with conventional oils. They were then drained and started without oil to prove a point.
Round number 2, right at the final seconds, Tommy comes in, misses with the right hand, and then drills a left hand to the head of Marcellus Brown, who's staggered.
So, a punch right at the bell or after the bell by Morrison does some damage to Marcellus Brown, and referee Kevin Champion did some damage to him by taking a point away in the second round. So after a very good first round for Brown, round 2 has some troubles for him.
No question that Marcellus has been watching tapes of Tommy Morrison, and he knows all about that left hook. Look where Marcellus is carrying his right hand.
Brown very active, but goes down for the left hook.
That time his right hand was down, and he got caught.
So with a lot of time left in round 3, Marcellus Brown has gone down and now must try and survive.
The referee forgot to wipe his gloves. He got right off the canvas, and the referee forgot to wipe his gloves.
Morrison hitting over the referee, Kevin Champion. This has the makings of a raucous and potentially ugly fight. Under 2 minutes left to go in round 3.
Now, I don't know if Brown's head is clear. If it's not, he's got to do two things. One, keep his distance, and two, on the inside, just grab Morrison and hold on for dear life.
Well, there's not too much distance in this ring to keep, but what there is, he's using. We're now approaching the halfway point in this round.
Those power punches are really starting to bother Marcellus Brown.
And that time it was a right hand by Morrison that got in. So here in round 3, Marcellus Brown has been down and hurt, but so far is weathering the storm. There's the little uppercut that lands. There's Morrison trying to work on the inside, and Kevin Champion having a very difficult time controlling this bout. We're in Muskogee, Oklahoma. This is Tommy Morrison country. You can tell by the crowd reaction.
You can see how painfully slow that right hand of Marcellus Brown is, and he's going to get nailed over and over. I think the end is just about upon us.
And there's the hook, as Randy pointed out, over the lazy right hand, and this may in fact be the end. It's over. Marcellus Brown, a victim at the hands of Tommy Morrison, who gets his knockout in the 3rd round. So much to the delight of this crowd in Muskogee, Tommy Morrison gets the job done using his power. And it was, in fact, that well-documented left hook that got the job done.
That's a major league left hook. I don't care who he hits on the chin with it. Yes, you might say it's Marcellus Brown, who really came to fight. He realized he came in here as an underdog, but he really came to fight, but he was just not in the same league as the very powerful Tommy Morrison.
So for Tommy Morrison, he gets the job done in front of his home folk, and here's how he did it.
Now watch where the right hand of Brown is. It's down by his chest. He gets nailed with that one mighty left hook, which had been finding a home in the past round or so, and he couldn't take it any longer. Look at those power shots. That was the first knockdown, a stiff left hand. Down he went, and that basically took much of the fight out of him. Anything else, he was just fighting on courage alone.
That was almost a jab, and so to the victor goes the spoils. Mark Piros in the center of the ring. Let's go to him now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 2 minutes, 28 seconds of the 3rd round. The winner by knockout, Tommy the Dude Morrison.
Tommy Morrison gets his 43rd win as a professional, his 36th knockout. And the folks in this building couldn't be happier. We'll have a chance to chat with them when we come back. Number 1.
Now, an oil made just
As in Muskogee, Oklahoma, you did it. Your 2nd comeback fight in a row now.
Well, I think we started out having a little bit of a problem adjusting to his reach. Once I started doing that, I started working off the jab. I think earlier I tried to load up a little bit too much, and it cost us. We're inside. As a guy, for a tall guy, moves around an awful lot, catching some elbows and things of that nature. So we were able to adapt the middle of the 3rd round and put things together.
You didn't jab your way in the 1st round. I believe round number 1, you threw only 1 jab. Was that because of his tremendous reach advantage?
I think that would probably have something to do with it, but that was more of my fault. That's all he's telling me all, from the beginning right up to the end, was everything comes off the jab, and that people that do that are showing signs of being a more mature fighter. And obviously I've got some room to improve, but I think we're closing in on it.
Okay, let's take a look at that first knockdown. I believe that was a crushing left hook you hit him with. You become the color commentator right now.
It looked like it was, I thought there was a little bit of a kind of a short uppercut, but the guy, one thing you'll see that I'm doing is doubling up on the jab, which is what Bird wanted me to do. But once I started doing that, then openings, I was making openings instead of trying to land the big shot.
Okay, and then you finished him off.
Well, the one thing with Bird is telling is working in off the jab and throwing punches from inside, staying low, being in a very elusive, explosive position. And once we started doing that, then the end came just as we wanted it to.
And the aim came in round number 3. It was victory number 43 for Tommy Morrison, who continues to dream of winning the heavyweight championship of the world. Let's go back to our own heavyweight champ at ringside, Al Bernstein.